food.
Recording in progress.
One more important characteristic of animals is that they feed on the other organisms to get their food because
Yeah.
they are, what are they? What we say in specific terminology?
Autotrophs,
Heterotrophs
or heterotrophs.
heterotrophs. Okay, heterotrophs means
Yeah.
they cannot prepare their own food. And what is the evidence that they are not autotrophs? This is the evidence. The absence of chloroplast is the evidence that they are not autotrophs. They cannot prepare their own food.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is
Yep.
why initially the scientists placed C. anemone in the plant group because they on what basis they placed it? Because the sea anemones they tend to stay fixed in one place and their tentacles look like flowering plant just like this. Okay, so on this basis
Yes.
the initially the scientists placed them in plants, but then they find out some of the characteristics, then they categorize some of the characteristics of the animals, and according to that, they then place the sea anemones in the animals category. And what are those characteristics? The most important one are the first one is multicellular. They are multicellular. Second thing is they have cells, and inside their cell there is a nucleus. This is important because we will see some of the organisms they don't have a true nucleus. Okay, we will see that, but those are not animals.
Mm-hmm.
In animals, this is an important characteristic that they have cell, and inside the cell there is a center nucleus. Okay, and but they don't have a
Yes.
cell wall. They have cell membrane, but no cell wall.
No cell wall. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now we will look into the plants. What are some of the characteristics of the plants and how we make a group for plants? How the scientists make a group for the plants? Okay. The plants.
I have one question. This plant also like excrete because they excrete CO2. Yeah.
Yeah, that is known as you can say there is yeah that is a nitrogenous waste. So you can say the carbon. But
Mm-hmm.
in animals we say that carbon dioxide. The metabolic waste is excretion. That is
Mm-hmm.
okay. So we can say that they excrete or you can say they exchange with the air. There is exchange of gases. Okay,
Okay.
and yes, the plants that are most familiar to us are the flowering plants. What are the characteristics of some flowering plants?
They're multicellular, like they're complex, and they have a nucleus, and they have chloroplast as well, so they can make their own food. They also have cell walls that were made out of chloroplast and
Yes,
cellulose.
yes. And these plants have, the simple. If you see this shepherd purse, what is this? It has leaves, it has stem, roots,
Yeah,
flowers, all are present. Okay, so these are some of the flowering plants which come into our mind when we think about the plants.
yeah,
Okay, there are some other, just like ferns and mosses. Have you seen the ferns and mosses?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
they don't look like
Yes.
flowers. They are not like that, but they are placed in plants category. Now, why we place them in plant category? Because they are multicellular. First thing, they have a cell with nucleus. They have cell wall that is made up of cellulose. This is important. Okay, mark it on your book that the cell wall of plants is made up of cellulose. And what
Mm-hmm.
is cellulose? Cellulose is a carbohydrate. Okay, it is a type of
Mm-hmm.
carbohydrate. Okay. So plant cell wall
Yeah.
is made up of cellulose, right? And what about the animal cell wall? With which material animal cell wall will be made up?
Animals, there's no cell wall of animals.
Yes, exactly. There is no cell wall in the animals. Okay. One
Of
more thing. hmm You are saying something?
nothing.
Okay. They often contain
None.
chloroplast. They often contain chloroplast. Okay, remember this thing they have mentioned often contain. It means not all plants have chloroplast. Okay. They often contain chloroplast and chloroplast help to prepare
Mm-hmm.
food. Okay, it will help for photosynthesis.
own food.
Okay. First thing is they are multicellular. They have cell with nucleus and they have cell wall that is made up of cellulose. They often contain chloroplast. They feed by photosynthesis. Okay. Photosynthesis is the
Hmm.
process by which they get food. That is why they are known as autotrophs. Autotrophs. They may have roots, stems, and leaves. These
Hmm.
are some of the characteristics of plants. These are not all the characteristics, but these are some major characteristics. Just like if you see a human being, what comes into your mind that a human being will have two hands, two legs, one brain, two eyes, just like that. Okay, the physical appearance
Yeah,
and some of the
eyes.
basic, yeah,
Mm.
eyes, nose, all these things. Similarly, when it comes into our mind about the plants, we say that there are some of the basic characteristics which every plant must have. Those are these: the multicellular, they have cell wall, they have a nucleus, and they contain chloroplast. They feed by photosynthesis, and they have roots, stem, and leaves. Right? And
Yeah.
one more thing over here, we were here. What all of them have in common is the green color, okay? Green color caused by pigment called chlorophyll. You see, this is a common thing in the
Hmm.
plants. They all are, mostly they are green in color. Why they are green in color? Because they have a color pigment that is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a pigment. You know how they have this color, the green color, which appear to our eyes? Because this chlorophyll in the plants, it absorbs sunlight. Okay, it absorbs sunlight,
Hmm.
and why it absorbs
Oh.
sunlight? Why it will absorb sunlight?
So
You
maybe
remember
a
the
lot of light
uh,
doesn't like.
no,
No,
I
to make food, to make food.
yeah, to make food because this sunlight will give them energy. Okay, otherwise, how will they get energy
Yes.
to convert the carbon dioxide and water? This is the formula of photosynthesis, like carbon dioxide plus
Glucose.
water, yeah,
Normal.
and glucose will form C6H12O6 plus
Yes.
oxygen. Okay, this is photosynthesis. For this, you
Hmm.
need sunlight. Okay, this for this plants need sunlight because this sunlight will give
Yes.
energy. Why energy
Yes.
needed? To convert this carbon dioxide and water into glucose. Okay.
To food. Yeah.
Otherwise, there is carbon dioxide in the air. There is water vapors in the air.
Yeah.
Because air is not dry.
Yeah.
There are water vapors. Why we don't have glucose in the air? Because the air it
It
does
doesn't
not
need
have
energy.
capability to convert carbon dioxide and water
With
into
energy.
glucose, right? Just
Yeah.
plants have this
Yes.
capability. Plants can use the carbon dioxide and water and they can make glucose from it, okay? Because they have chlorophyll, a color pigment which will absorb the sunlight, and then the plant will use this energy to make sugar, okay? To make sugar, and sugar is what? The glucose, okay?
Mm.
Clear? By the
Yes.
process of photosynthesis. As they do not need to move around to get their food, plants are adapted to remain in one place. Okay, what is this? This is their adaptation. You know what is the difference between adaptation and
Mm.
something which is naturally present? You know the difference between
Adapt
adaptation.
is
Hmm.
like like uh like they what's it called
Hmm. According to the
uh,
situation, right? According to the situation.
no,
Hmm.
I know it's like or like their habitats change.
Yes. So they change according to the environment, right? According to
Yes.
the environment, the animals change their position. Just like, the animals in the winters, most of them,
Yeah.
they hibernate themselves, okay? To avoid so much exposure to the winter, to the cold air.
Yeah.
So that is known as adaptation. That according to the situation, according to the external environment, the animals tend to adapt something. Similarly, the plants, they don't need to move around to get the food. Okay, they don't need that because they can easily get carbon dioxide from the air and water they can get from the roots. Okay, and they can
Hmm.
convert it into glucose. So for them, it is not needed to move. That's why they tend to stay at their position, right? That's why they adapt to remain at one place. That is why we say that plants do not move. They don't tend to
Hmm.
move. They often have a spreading shape. The spreading shape, You
Mhm.
know the spreading shape, what is spreading shape? Just like these, they can spread at the branches of the plant, okay?
Yes.
Enabling them to capture as much sunlight energy as possible. The reason for this spreadness is so that they have more exposure to the sunlight, okay? They have more exposure to the
Yeah.
sunlight. Are you getting this?
Sunlight. Yes.
Because they are not moving. So how they will have more exposure to the sunlight? Obviously by their branching, by the branching in the plant.
Yeah.
The more branching, the more spreadness is there, the more exposure will be with to the sunlight. Clear?
Yeah.
Are you clear with this
Yes.
plants part? How we, what are some of the common
Yeah.
characteristics and how we categorize them?
Yes.
Okay, this is a basic thing.
Yes.
Then we will further in the next section, inshallah, we will discuss in detail what are the organisms in the kingdom Animalia, what we place in kingdom Plantae. Okay, this is just a brief
Mhm.
classification, a general classification of the kingdom of living organisms. So the complex one is the animals, the first one. Then we have plants. Okay, we have started from the complex one. Otherwise, the simplest one is from the kingdom Monera, from the
Mm,
bacteria,
yes.
right? The prokaryotes. This is the simplest one. Then protista is the second most. Then third is fungi. Now we are moving from the
Fungi.
complex
Yes.
to the simplest one. Okay. They have
Mhm.
mentioned the photograph below shows a sea anemone. Explain why people used to think that sea anemone were plants. Okay, why? This we have discussed so many times. This is an example of sea
Yes.
anemone. If you see, it looks like plant, right?
Yes.
But why people think that it is a plant in ancient times, previous times?
Because what's
Hmm.
it called? It was hard to
Hmm.
what's it called? It was
There
hard
were
to
there were two things.
like
First is the
put it.
movement. It is not moving.
Yeah.
It is static.
And the character.
Hmm.
Yes.
And second,
The character, like how it looks.
yeah, tentacles. The tentacles
Yes.
in it, tentacles are like these spikes. Okay, these spikes.
Yes.
These were like flowering plant. Okay, if you see, if anyone a journal, if you are not a biologist and if you are just randomly seeing any picture, it will come into your mind that it is a plant, right? But if you look into the details, so we will get to know that it is an animal. Sea anemone is an animal, and why it is an animal? How we can justify that it is an animal? In the part B, they have
Uh,
asked, explain how using a microscope could help you to confirm that sea anemone are called animals. First
wait,
thing,
what's
if
the
you
question
see
again?
how we can confirm that this is an animal, how you can explain this to
Because
anyone
of
that
the
this is an animal.
because it has tentacles and it doesn't move.
No, that is the evidence of plant.
Oh,
That
oh,
was the evidence of the plant. Like the people in the ancient time, they think it was a plant. Okay. And on what basis they
mhm,
think? First thing was it was static. Okay. On this basis, they thought that it is a plant.
yeah,
Okay. Then second thing was its tentacle look like a flowering plant. That's
mhm.
why they thought it is a plant. They think that it is a plant, but it is not a plant. How we come to know that
Mhm.
it is not a plant, it is an animal. What are those evidences? I am asking about that. What are the evidences which confirm that sea anemone is an animal?
Maybe it doesn't have like chloroplast or
Yeah, that is
chlorophyll.
one. Yeah, that is one evidence. Then second, see this picture. It is very
Multicellular.
clear. Multicellular. Then what is this?
Yes, complex. Is that nucleus?
Yeah, it has a nucleus. Okay. Then
Uh, cell wall.
yeah, it does not have any cell. No cell wall is there. Okay. No cell wall.
Yeah.
Cell wall is absent. Yeah, good. And one more thing which we can discuss is that there is, yeah, what I was telling you about this. Yeah, they are heterotrophs, okay? They are not autotrophs.
Mhm.
That is why
Yes.
we can say that sea animals are animals. We are confirmed that sea animals are animals. Okay. Now the photograph below shows a plant called a liverwort. Liverwort do not have roots or proper leaves. Okay, they have mentioned they don't have roots or proper leaves. They do not have flowers. Okay, they don't have flowers. Suggest how you could show that liverwort belongs to plant kingdom. How you suggest it? What are the things which you will look into the microscope to check whether it is a plant or whether it is an animal?
That to check it has
Yeah, for
chlorophyll.
the most important thing. Most important thing is chloroplast. Okay.
Yes.
If it is there, then it is plant. Then second, what is present in
Uh,
the plant that is not present in the animal? Unique thing
uh,
which we have discussed today.
what's it called? It has a cell wall made
Yes,
of
exactly.
cellulose.
Cell wall made up of cellulose. Okay. So it have a
Yes.
cell wall, but the animal don't have any cell wall. Great. Good.
Yes.
And that is made up of cellulose. Okay.
Yes.
Then third thing, these are the two evidences
Uh,
that are enough, right? But what
okay.
are some other things for the plants?
Uh,
They
Maybe
don't
it like
move,
it has the
right?
yeah
They
they
don't
don't
move.
move.
Yeah,
They
and they are
have tentacles.
multicellular.
Okay.
Not the tentacles. I just give the example. Tentacles are present in the animals. Okay, that
Oh,
are a
oh,
thing.
only in animals. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but sometime we will see that right now at this stage you can just think that the tentacles are in animals. Okay, then are you clear with this question?
Yes.
So this is how they will ask you. So if you know that what are the characteristics of the plants and what are the characteristics of the animals and what are some unique things which are present in the animal and plant, then you can easily classify. Then you can easily distinguish between two, right? And okay, if I ask you
Yeah.
what are the similarities in the animal and the plant cell, what are the similarities?
Uh, has a cell membrane.
Yeah, and
What's it called? Both of them has no,
mhm.
mm,
Central. What is in the center?
central nucleus.
Yeah, nucleus. In the animal cell, it is in the center, but in plant, we will see in the plant, it is not in the center.
Bit
Okay,
far.
yeah, it is
Yeah.
in the on the periphery. It is on the side. So,
Yes.
but generally, we can say they both have nucleus and they both are multicellular. Okay, they are
Mhm.
complex. These are the similarities in the kingdom Plantae, the organism in the kingdom Plantae, and the organism in the kingdom Animalia. Okay. Okay. Now we will discuss the kingdom Fungi. This is the third kingdom, and initially, in the ancient time, they put the organisms of the kingdom fungi in the kingdom plantae. There was a confusion at that time. So,
Mhm.
for a very long time, the fungi were classified as plants. However, we
Mhm.
know that they are really very different. Why they are different, we will see this, and belong to their own kingdom. They have some of the characteristics on which basis we say they have a separate group. Okay. The most important thing is, firstly, they are multicellular. They have nucleus. So these are the similarities with the plant. Okay. But the third thing, this is important.
Has a cell wall, which
They have a cell
plant does.
wall, but the cell wall is not made up of cellulose.
It's
It is
got
made up of
yes. That's
chitin.
chlor. Oh,
Okay.
quite. What's
Chitin.
chitin?
Chitin is
Chitin.
also a type of the, you can say a carbohydrate, but it has some other
Mhm.
characteristics. Okay. It is a complex one.
Oh,
We will discuss it. And you can say this is. Have you seen the exoskeleton in some of the insects? Their skeleton is
fungi.
outside.
Mhm.
Simply, you can say it is a type of the carbohydrate. Okay, chitin is also a type of carbohydrate. It is a polysaccharide basically. Carbohydrate are of three types: the monosaccharides, disaccharides, and the polysaccharides. So, cellulose is also a carbohydrate. Chitin is also a carbohydrate, but it is a separate carbohydrate. These are not same. Okay, cellulose and chitin are not same. They have differences. So at this stage, we will say the fungi is made up of chitin. Okay, their cell wall is not made up of cellulose. It is made up of chitin. Then they don't have chlorophyll. If you remember, we discussed that plants have chlorophyll, right? The plants have chlorophyll, but they don't have chlorophyll. So these are two differences from the plants. Third
Mhm.
thing, Third thing is they feed by saprophytic or parasitic nutrition. You know the parasitic nutrition?
Uh, is it
Hmm.
like like you they can make their
Parasites
own
are
food?
just like, no. Have you seen termites? You know about termites?
Uh,
Those
uh,
termites are those insects which eat wood.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes. You know, and what they do? They eat wood, and in return, the wood is you cannot use that wood, right? You can simply say that termites they damage the furniture. Termites are those
Mhm,
organisms which damage the furniture. So what they are doing, they are getting benefit from the wood, and in return, they are harming the wood. So parasites are
mhm,
those organisms which get food from other organisms, and also they are not just getting the food; they are also in return they are harming that organism.
mhm.
Just like if a mosquito bites us, what that mosquito is doing? That mosquito is getting blood, our blood. Okay, it is getting benefit, and in return,
Yeah,
it is harming us. So mosquito is a parasite.
yeah,
Are you getting this?
yes, yes, yes.
So they rely on, although we can say they are autotrophs, they are not. We cannot say they are autotrophs because they are not preparing their own food, but they are relying on other organisms. How they are relying? They act as parasite. Okay, they act as parasite. They get benefit from other organisms,
Mhm.
and in return they harm that organism. Okay,
Okay.
these are parasites.
Mhm,
And what are saprophytic nutrition? The fourth point, it is about their nutrition type, how they get their nutrition. So there are two ways, saprophytic and parasitic. Saprophytic means they feed from the dead organism, okay? The dead organism. They feed from dead
mhm.
or
Yeah,
decayed organism, dead or decayed,
yeah.
okay? They feed from the dead or decayed organism.
Okay, yes.
So these are three characteristics which are different from the plants.
Uh,
That's why we say they
Plants.
are in different group. Okay,
Mhm.
these three characteristics, and why we are not placing them in kingdom Animalia?
Because what's it called?
Hmm.
The like
We cannot place them in
it's
kingdom Animalia. There is one most important thing.
cell wall.
See this, yeah, cell wall. Because they have cell wall, we cannot place them in kingdom Animalia, right?
Yeah,
Although they are multicellular, they have nucleus, but you cannot put them in kingdom Animalia because they have a cell
yeah,
wall.
yeah. Also, there's saprophytic.
They are saprophytic. Yeah. The first thing, if
Yes.
this is the basic, most important thing is this cell wall. After that, you don't need to
Yeah.
think about any other characteristic. Okay.
Mhm,
If there is cell wall, that is not an animal. If there is cell wall,
mhm.
then you can look into the plant category or you can look into the fungi category. Then further you will see if the cell wall is made up of cellulose, then you can say the that there is what we can say that is plant. And if the cell wall is made up of
Yeah.
chitin, then what we can say?
That it's what's it called? Fungi.
Yeah, it is fungal. And they don't have chlorophyll. Okay, that is why they need to rely. They don't have chlorophyll. That's why we say that they are not autotrophs. They are not autotrophs. They rely on other organisms. And how they get
Yeah.
food from other organisms? By saprophytic nutrition. They feed by saprophytic nutrition or by parasitic nutrition.
Parasitic. Yeah.
What is saprophytic nutrition?
It's like eating like wood,
Hmm.
but that you cannot use, like dead, decayed.
No, saprophytic means you have a dead or decayed. They rely on dead or decayed things, just like the
Mhm.
dead bodies. underground. Okay,
Oh,
the
oh, okay,
fungi
okay.
they eat, they get food. That's why, why, have you ever think about this, that when you bury someone, a dead person, after
Mhm.
few years there is just skeleton. There are just bones. Where the flesh goes, where the blood goes, and
Mhm.
where the meat goes, those fungi eat them. Okay, the fungi eat them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Here the fungi, and we will look that prokaryotes also rely on them, and the organisms like that.
Mhm.
So that is known as saprophytic nutrition, that you rely on dead organism for food. Clear?
Yep.
And the second
Yep.
thing is parasitic nutrition. What is parasitic nutrition? That they are getting food from the other organism, and in return they are harming that organism. Just like
Yep.
us. The fungi, if they can, they're not, it's like, the mosquitoes. We can,
Mhm.
I've just given you the example of mosquito. Even the mosquito is not not in the kingdom fungi. That is in the kingdom animalia. Have you seen the bread? On the bread there is fungus
Yes,
sometimes.
sometimes.
So,
Yes.
can you eat that bread?
No.
Yeah. Why we cannot eat that? Because that bread is rotten now. That is waste
Yeah.
now, right? And why it is waste? Because that fungi has taken the food from the bread, and in return there is fungus on the bread. So you cannot
Yep.
eat that bread, right? So this is an example of parasitic nutrition. Now, can you summarize this kingdom fungi? What is in the kingdom fungi? Till now, we have discussed the first paragraph and then the characteristic. Mhm.
You.
I am asking that what is in the kingdom?
What do I do? Out of cell
Recording
wall
in progress.
Mhm.
that's made out of cellulose, and they do not have chlorophyll, which means they cannot make their own food.
Hmm.
And kingdom Plantae has chlorophyll, and they're feeded by saprophytic or
Hmm. Parasitic.
parasitic nutrition.
Parasitic.
That means parasitic nutrition. That means they're
Yes.
not even in kingdom Animalia.
Yes. So, and what are saprophytic and parasitic nutrition mode? What are these way of nutrition, of
Uh,
getting nutrition?
Saprophytic is like they eat dead stuff or like dead decayed, like
Hmm.
a dead tree. They just eat it.
Yeah.
And parasitic is like they harm organisms
Hmm.
to benefit from other organisms in
Hmm.
return.
Yes. To get the food from them, and in return they harm them.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yes.
why we say the fungi are in a separate category. You cannot place them in plants because their cell wall is made up of chitin. Okay. And then their mode of
Yes.
nutrition is different from the plant, and also they don't have chlorophyll. Okay. We have
Yes.
found many different uses to make fungi. Yeast. The yeast is made up of the fungi, the fungus yeast.
Mhm.
Fungi, we eat them as mushrooms. The mushrooms are fungi.
Yes.
We use the unusual fungus yeast to make ethanol and bread. Okay, the bread is made from the yeast, ethanol. That's
Mhm.
why when bread is rotten, there is fungus on it because it is made up of the fungus, right? We obtain antibiotics such as
Yep.
penicillin from various different fungi. Okay, this is very important. That's why we use fungi in biotechnology. Okay, biotechnology is a field. Biotechnology. It is a field of biology in which we use living organisms just like fungi for the well-being, okay, for the well-being of the society. How we use them? We prepare medicine from them. So they have mentioned that some of the antibiotics
Mhm.
are prepared from different fungus, from different fungi, just like penicillin. You know what are antibiotics?
Uh,
Hmm,
Antibiotics are like
they are those medicines which
wait,
are
it's
taken. Mhm.
uh, to prevent bacterial like
Yes,
infections.
yes. To prevent bacterial infection. Okay. To prevent bacterial infection,
Hmm.
it is needed to take some antibiotics. Okay. They are
Yes.
antibacterials. So they have given the example of penicillin. So we can prepare it from the fungi. Some fungi, however,
Yep.
are harmful. Some are harmful as well.
Hmm.
Some of these cause food decay. Okay, most of the time when food is decaying, there is fungus in it. Okay, most of the time. There are bacteria as well. There is bacteria as well. Sometimes bacteria, it rots the food. There is food decay due to bacteria, and there most of the time there is fungi as well. While a few causes diseases, they also cause diseases. This is important. You must mark it in on your book. What are the diseases which can occur due to this? That are ringworm and athlete's foot. These are some of the diseases. I can
Yeah.
show you this ringworm and athlete's foot, how it look like.
Athlete foot is like there's like stuff on your foot, yeah, like
Yes, yes,
when you're like in war and stuff.
yes. You see this? There is fungus skin over here. If you see this one,
Yes.
it becomes so you can say hard. The skin becomes there is a rash on the skin. That is because of the
Yeah.
fungus that is known as ringworm. And athlete's foot,
Hmm.
if we can see that athlete infection. Yeah, on our if you see this, yeah, there's this. If you see this,
Hmm.
there are blisters on your foot. They suggest, and this
Yeah.
one is also okay. They suggest the doctor suggests the creams as well as also they suggest that you must wash your feet properly. Wash your foot properly. Otherwise, you
Yes.
know what happens? It happens due to dirt. Because in the dirt, in the dust, there
Yes.
is fungus. That's why it happens.
Yeah.
And you know, it is a part of our in the Islam that we make wuzu for 5 times a day. So
Yeah.
the cleanliness is a part of our deen. And I think sometimes that
Hmm.
how much good it is to be a Muslim, right? It also benefit you
Yeah.
in different ways.
Benefits our lifestyle.
Yeah. So that these are the two diseases which we get from the fungi. Okay.
Fungi.
Then they have mentioned that fungi they don't have chlorophyll. They do not
Mm.
photosynthesize. They do not photosynthesize because they don't have chlorophyll. Instead, they feed
Yes.
saprophytically. Okay, you know saprophytically that they rely on dead organisms. Okay, they rely on
Yeah.
dead or decayed organism. You know the difference between dead and decay? Dead and decay.
The that is
Hmm.
like it can't that is like it can't do anything, but decay is like it has a
Hmm.
little bit of life in it, yeah.
That is, you can say that is not too much you can say that is if a person is dead 2 or 3 days before. It is these two terminologies are related
Oh.
to the time. Okay, decay means
Mhm.
that person was dead a few years before. Okay, like that.
Mhm.
Okay, and like you can say the dead person is it is in the fresh stage. Okay, like you
Yes.
know the dead bodies from the dead bodies they can take heart if the heart is alive they can take some of the
Yeah.
vital organs and there is organ transplant in the living organisms so
Yes.
they can take from the dead organism but they cannot take the doctors cannot take from the decayed organism, right?
Yes.
And that is the difference. Okay, and this is one of the mode that instead they feed saprophytically or parasitically means
Yes.
what are parasitic what is parasitic mode?
A parasitic is
Mm-hmm.
what's it called?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're eat like you're getting food, but you're harming other organisms in return.
Yes, and any example for that?
Like example for bread, it has fungus on it, mushrooms.
Mush